Welcome to Youth Talks, brought to you by State of Youth.
Today, it's a great pleasure to have with me Januka and Splendor, two colleagues of mine and two youth activists that will speak a bit more about the pandemic and also the initiative that we have been involved in called COVID-19. So first, I would like to start with Januka. So could you please introduce yourself? Yeah.
Hello, greetings from Nepal. Namaste everyone, I'm Januka from Nepal. I am 18 years old and I am a high school graduate working as a child rights and environmental activist. I am involved in COVID under 19 initiative from September 2020. I am sure we are going to have a great time today together. So thanks for having me here.
Thank you for joining. And Splendor?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Splendor from Nigeria, and I am an alumni of the Global Citizen Year, and I have also been a participant of the COVID under 19, an initiative that creates that involve children worldwide around the globe in the responses to the COVID-19. It's really nice meeting all of you.
Thank you very much. I know we've all been involved in COVID-19, so I would like to ask each one of you, first of all, to describe what the initiative is about, but also speak about your experience in it and how you felt working in an initiative with children from all over the world experiencing the same pandemic. So, Januka, we can start with you.
Oh, yeah, sure. So first, I will be talking about COVID under 19 initiative. It is the initiative which is associated with TTH International and is a platform that encourages children across the world to involve in meaningful participation. And it also helps in sharpening their ability. And the initiative has created a diversified network of young people, from different parts of the world. And it's really a safe and supportive space that helps young generation to learn through their own experience. And as per my understanding, in order to understand children's view and experience about life under coronavirus and amplify their voices to inform the policymakers and government, the initiative came into existence. And I'm really blessed to be the part of it. And if I need to talk about my experience, I will not only talk about my experience that is related to COVID under 19 initiative. I would also like to share about my experience during this pandemic. And to be honest, it was not really easy for me to cope up with the new normal, in the beginning of the pandemic, I was really going out of my mind. And as a student and as an activist, I was always busy outdoors before the pandemic. But because of the pandemic, I got stuck in my home for months, and it felt like being in a prison, though I was with my family. So yeah, my experience with the pandemic is really very, very crazy. But in the meantime, fortunately, I came across with many opportunities, and one of them was obviously COVID under 19 initiative. It was my first experience interacting with people, interacting with foreign people and working together with them. I'm really impressed with the diversified and multicultural nature of this initiative. It has given really a lot to me and to many young people around the world. And my words alone can't explain the experience that I gained from this team. And I must say that working with young people from around the world, especially when the world is going through such hard situation, is really a feeling of blessing. And I know you all will agree with this as well. The team heard my voice and supported it, and it really gave me the platform to directly connect with world leaders as well. So I'm really thankful to the dedicated and hardworking team of this initiative. I would have never, got the chance to know and work with such energetic group, such a dedicated group of young people from different parts of the world if it was not the pandemic, like if it was not corona. So what I wanted to say is, it's not that I love or I want corona to exist, but I really don't hate corona at all. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for saying that. I think it's really powerful, as you said, meeting with people from all around the world and seeing how we are experiencing a similar situation, but also a different situation, because obviously countries would have different situations. But yeah, no, COVID-19 was truly inspiring initiative, and it's really powerful to see people coming together, even in times like this, to create something that will involve children and young people. What about you, Splendor? How do you experience that time and working with COVID-19?
Yeah, so basically we know that the COVID under 19 is an initiative that creates space for children across the globe to be meaningfully involved in the discussions that about the responses to the COVID-19 pandemic. And we also noticed that this initiative set out to understand children's views and their experiences about their life under the coronavirus, and also amplifies their voice to inform policymakers and professionals working with children and the government. So with my own personal experience in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic, the fact is that in 2020, early 2020, as the pandemic struck, we noticed that it left everyone on a run. So for my own part, like in my own area, we noticed that many things didn't we aren't going normal. Education was suspended, and so many other things we are just came to a halt. So it affected me in a sense that I didn't have an opportunity to to continue schooling. And despite coming from an underserved community where young ones lack access to digital skills, it was really, really hard to study online because most schools in my own community didn't move or didn't move their education or their schooling online, just like um, our counterparts in the urban cities did. So it was really, really hard to continue my education in 2020. But it was during that period that I started going the extra mile. I stepped outside my comfort zone to look for opportunities that will help me grow and learn as an individual. And that is when I found out about the COVID under 19. So actually my time with COVID under 19 has been amazing. I must tell you that.
That's great to hear, actually. I'm really happy that we all enjoyed our experience with COVID-19. I know, we all were involved in the survey, and it was one of the biggest activities within COVID-19. And I know you, Januka, are specifically involved in the education part because both mentioned the importance of education, how your school life was affected by the pandemic. So, do you think it would be interesting to show some stats or some testimonies of children when they spoke about education in the survey you conducted?
Yeah, actually, the initiative launched the survey that was like Life Under Coronavirus in spring 2020. And more than 26,000 children from more than 137 countries participated in the survey. And I even got chance to present about this topic, education, in the high-level launch event of COVID under 19 initiative. And I presented about the problems of assessing education online, and it was really shocking, or what to say, it was really hurting. Only 12% of children said that their education was better during the coronavirus, Other remaining children were facing difficulties in assessing education, as only as 84% of children were without internet access. So we can imagine how could they attend online classes and how could they gain knowledge as their peers were getting. And again, 42% of children said they were less confident that their teachers would give them good grades with their studies because of coronavirus. So this also shows the poor condition of children's mental health. They are not just facing challenges with their studies, but are also facing problems like depression and mental disturbance and all. And even if I need to talk about myself, I was even worried about my future, as my 12th board last year was postponed for about more than 8 to 9 months. And I was without any online classes waiting for my board exams. And you can imagine that discontinuous in education and waiting for final exams is such a headache. I just can't think about it right now. And it's really very difficult to concentrate on during online classes, even if we need to talk about this digital learning and all. And I'm really tired of this type of life. And I know many of the young people around the world feel the same. But what we as youths can do is to think and act for better education system. I not only want to talk about this online learning. It's not only about that, but it's about the education system as a whole. So yeah, this much.
Thank you very much for sharing that. And I also know the survey also had other parts. For example, it was about participation. It was also about mental health, as you said. I don't know if Splendor has any other parts of the survey that he was working in he would like to share.
Yeah, in that survey, we noticed that over 13% of children, they said that they hardly they didn't get access to internet that will support them during their online learning. And we also noticed that 62% of these children in refugee camps say that they had no access or hardly any access to internet. And 38% and 27% of migrants, that's children who migrated from other countries, also said the same thing. So all of this really point out to something, that the level of education during the pandemic was really, really low, in the sense that people were not able to they were not able to get money to support their online learning. So they lacked access to internet connection, that's data. So we also look at the other aspect of it, that is their personal well-being, that's the access to healthcare. We notice that 21% of the children says that 21% of children with experiences of COVID-19, they say that they had no experience of COVID-19. And since the coronavirus began, they were now less able to access the medical help they need or they may need. So we noticed that this and many other parts of the survey was really mind-blowing, because we received thousands of responses from young ones around the globe.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. It shows the magnitude of ways in which the pandemic affected us. And we can all agree, I think, that one of the only solutions that we can have is to actually involve young people in the decision-making process and to show and reflect on these problems and these inequalities that have been shown from the pandemic. So if I could ask you then, how could you convince someone who wasn't, in a way, maybe interested in children's rights, or he didn't believe in the voice of children? What would you say to convince them? Why should children be involved in the post-pandemic world, in the creation of the post-pandemic world?
I think that they should, they should be interested in that, because it really means our future. So when we come together to discuss about things pertaining to our rights, especially the right to education, we notice that it is something globally. So it doesn't affect one side of the nation or one side of the country. It affects everyone. So young ones around the globe all have to share their experiences and also get involved in the post-pandemic world.
Do you want to add anything, Januka?
Yeah, well, in my opinion, young people always need to be active and optimistic in any situation, not only in the post-pandemic world as well. Yeah, I'm saying this because I believe that young people are more energetic and innovative. If we see, and for example, if we are building a home, no, then the home can only be strong if its base is strong. And if the children are treated well, if they are involved in decision making process, if they are given the chance to do something for the society, then that means their base is being strong. And when they grow up, they can really contribute for the betterment of the society, and when they grow up with a strong base, and they will have the creative ideas, innovative ideas, and they will have high potential of doing things in better way with energy and experience. So I think without the involvement of young generation, especially during this time, we cannot achieve what we lost during this pandemic. But how they get involved and how they mobilize their energy, how you adults here and give chance to young people is the most important thing. So yeah, it's not only important, but it's really necessary for young people to get involved.